Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and then we got a real special group for y'all today in the GRINDcast studio. First and foremost, we got my girl Jordy over here to my left. For y'all that are watching, just absolute superstar in the youth program, 7th grade. Just heard she was on the high honor roll.
Yes,
Miss Tyra Grant told us. So we got the Miss Tyra Grant, Executive Director, Steel City Impact in the house. And then we also have, y'all can't see her, maybe another time you get to see her, but we have Jordy's mama, Angel, in the house. And now I see, as they say, when they say you get it from your mama,
Yeah,
now I see where you got that swag, that mouthpiece from, that extreme level above, way above average in you. I see starts coming from your mom. You can read that in the first 60 seconds of meeting your mom. So for those of y'all that don't know, we got Miss Tyra Grant in the house, former WNBA player. She hates when I go through that part. She was the former police officer in Youngstown, Ohio. So if any of y'all know that ain't like we're just gonna put you somewhere on the police force and you chilling. Like Youngstown, Ohio, you gonna get some action coming your way. Most importantly, we got the program director, as we said already, the youth program director, Steel City Impact, Tyra Grant. We got one of our top youth program folks in the house, former boss lady or future boss lady in the house, current boss lady in the house, Miss Jordy. And so let's start out with you, Miss Jordy. We just mentioned that you have coming off a good, are we on, all A's?
All A's the third quarter.
All A's.
All A's.
In the third quarter.
Yep.
Come on, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
Highest honor roll.
Highest honor roll you can get. Okay. So how long have you been a part of Steel City?
I've been a part of Steel City since last summer, so about a year now.
Okay. Coming up on a year. And you just stand out. What are I know some of my favorite things of watching you in action. What would you say from a student's perspective, from your perspective, what are some of the things that you like that are going on, any of the activities that are going on? What's fun? What's good?
The field trips are the most fun, but from a student's perspective, it's like, sorry, y'all.
Which field trips did you like the most so far?
My favorite field trip had to be the DC field trip because I got to explore Black history and Black culture, and then I got to see a side of Miss Tyra, like a little fun side.
Miss Tyra loosen up a little bit? Okay.
She was having a ball.
Oh, I like it.
That's funny.
And then I got to create like more of a bond with other people from Steel City who I don't really talk to in school, and
Okay. And what other things other than the field trip stand out to you that do you think is impactful to some of the peers or the students? Or
Miss Tyra's leadership and like the students who Miss Tyra already has on track, like they're good influences and like good people to hang around.
I'm proud of the culture that you all are in the process of building. You know, nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? Nothing's perfect. Sometimes, I was just talking to Angel and I was saying, about the family I have. I got an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 3-year-old. Sometimes we'll take a picture together and people are like, oh man, that picture came out so nice. It's so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, if y'all would have seen about 20 seconds before this, it was a complete meltdown. We was all screaming at each other. The baby was crying. I'm threatening the 3-year-old. You know what I mean? I'm bribing the 6-year-old. You know what I mean? For like 5 minutes before the picture. So nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? But when I see the culture that y'all are building together, because I say y'all, it got to be the players and it got to be the coaches. You know what I'm saying? And so, Miss Tyra, you had an opportunity to be a player and a coach before, and a high level player, but now you're in the position of a coach, and as a player that the culture really can only get as good as the players can carry that culture. Yep, it can't absolutely just be the coach. And so now I'm watching the culture get built from the students, from the perspective of the kids in the program, and I'm watching it start to catch fire to where, I remember when we first started, it would be like, we got a real long way to go. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say we had a real long way to go. Now I walk in, we always got a long way to go. But now I walk in and I'm like, man, it's so many of you that I watch that have so much ability, so much talent, so respectful. There's times that I'm talking in there, we go for 30, 45 minutes straight. And I'm like, man, these 7th graders, 8th graders, they're doing a better job than the grown folks I got at the office, sometimes. So I'm super proud of what you guys are building. So speaking of which, I know HIPAA laws and all that stuff. I know we can't go too deep into everything, but I think just fresh out of, I just got a recent text message from one of the people high up at superintendent at Stowe Rocks, just thanking us for what we're doing and specifically shouting you out for a medical emergency, that took place at the school. I think that happened within the last week, right? Yes. Within the last week, where you were able to help a student that was severely injured.
Yes.
And there's kind of no real practice or preparation, for that stuff. So talk to us about like what that was like and kind of what happened in that as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it was at the end of school. Was getting ready. We're going to dye eggs and do an Easter egg hunt and everything for the kids. So it was right before break. And I'm in the cafeteria and we get a call over the radio that there's blood everywhere. Come quick. We need help. And at first I didn't really hear everything, catch everything. I just heard somebody loud and yelling. I'm like, oh, it's a fight, and I'm like, well, they'll get it. But then
mind you, that was the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
So I remember we were on a Zoom call meeting with the principal, with
the superintendent.
We're all professional on the call. Next thing I know, there's alarm goes off. People got to step out.
Right.
There's a blowout. Riot.
Yes. A lot
of
noise. Definitely a lot of noise.
That's what we working with.
Yes.
Right. At times.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay.
So, and that's why naturally I thought this is just not normal, but the norm that happens. And I'm like, okay, they'll get it. But then when I heard it again and I was actually able to fully make out what the teacher was saying, that's when, and I got the location, I ran to where it happened, and it was right in the stairwell next to the cafeteria, and indeed, it was blood everywhere. And at that moment, I got to feel and also see, like the kids say in 4K, how people respond and how I even would respond in that type of situation. You're seeing a kid, needing like help severely. Like, this isn't, oh, I just rolled my ankle or, I got a boo-boo. Like, no, like we got to help him. And then we don't know how bad it really is, you just know it's bad. So at that point, I just had to run and I'm like, put pressure on it. So I'm like, we got to go get something. So I ran and I got towels and napkins and everything. And I ran over, and by that time, the teachers more teachers were over there, and, everybody's just watching. And, then the superintendent makes it over there at that time, and she looks at me and she's like, are you with me? And at that moment I was like, yes, like, let's go. And we were able to kind of position him up, and, for about 15 minutes, which kind of felt like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just crouched down behind him, and I have my hand with the, I was able to get gloves eventually, but with the towel and everything, just putting pressure on his head. And there's, it's just trying to find where it's at and what's going on, and just trying to be of as much assistance as I can be. It was scary, but at that moment he wasn't like passing out. He wasn't throwing up. He wasn't giving any crazy signs. He was just definitely wincing in pain because, he fell a story down, on the steps, neck, head, and all of that. So it was crazy.
We got to keep praying.
Definitely.
Keep praying for him. I know right now he's still in the recovery phases, but I think when I received the text message, the thing that stuck out other than, the things that you would think of, if, crazy that you would jump into action like that, dealing with something like that. But just, she said she was a real team player. You know what I mean? And that's what we've been aiming to do, is our vision, coming in was like, we ain't trying to overshadow nobody. We have no agenda coming in to Stowe Rocks. We just want to come in and help the kids and make everybody better in the process. You know, we just a part of the team. It takes everybody. It takes the parent. It takes the principal.
Absolutely.
It takes the coaches. It takes,
Absolutely.
you know, and we was just sitting here talking about somebody that we know that was not in the program anymore that you bump into at the school. We care about her.
Yes,
you know what I mean? We
absolutely.
care about everybody, not just if you're in the program. We want to, it takes a village, you know,
Absolutely.
to do the whole deal. So
Yes.
speaking of the village, you know, I think I'm proud of the fact that we've been bragging about. We have more than half of our kids now on the honor roll,
Yes.
which when we came in, we first got rolling, we had one kid on the
Yes.
honor roll. Now we got more than half the kids on the honor roll.
Yes.
What would you say, Jordy? Is there anything that you see? You know, I know you have a little bit of an advantage because now I get to see you got an awesome mother. But other than that, is there anything that you see in the program that you think is helping the kids get better grades and better with their education because the numbers are kind of jumping off the charts? What do you see?
Miss Tyra, because everybody just want to do what they can to impress their friends until their parents get involved or Miss Tyra get involved, because Miss Tyra gets down. Like Miss Tyra's like a mom. Like she'll like, yeah, you get it.
I do get it. Yeah. Miss Tyra don't play. She's like a mom. She is like a mom. And she takes it serious like a mom, and she cares like a mom. When they say, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, you know, we just talked about a little bit of the blood.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've seen you running around with the sweat, but there's also behind the scenes some tears, you know, that I've seen. And I've seen tears of like, man, I want so much for these kids. And then I've seen tears of joy like you share as a parent. You know what I'm saying? And so with Mother's Day coming up,
Man.
you may not have birthed any yet out yourself, but we got about 50 or more
Yes,
of them that you're like a mom to.
Definitely. You should hear it on Mother's Day. They say, oh, are you a mom? I'm like, yeah. How many kids do you have?
50.
52. What?
Like, damn, I know some that got about 10, 15. I had two in my wedding, Angel. Two in my wedding that got 8 apiece, okay? So
Yeah.
52, I ain't never heard of
And then
52.
and you know, they looking at me as the
They're
woman
like,
like,
dang, girl, how you do that?
How you all together still?
52.
I said, don't worry. The good part about this is I do get to give them back at the end of the day, but I still love them all the same. But yes, it is definitely like, I do feel like that. I was just talking to one of the parents today where her and I said, you know, I'm the stepmom, and she, you know, she loves me and it's awesome. And she was like, yeah, so when he gets here, because I was kind of disappointed in how a student that's usually one of my great always on honor roll kids kind of slipped down, but I understand there's some other, you know, factors that went along with that. But it was like, we're going to both talk to him together on the phone. We're going to make sure that he understands, like, yes, this is going on, but we still got to make sure that your grades stay first. And it's a great feeling, you know, to feel so accepted and to feel like that, but also to be able to build that relationship. Because, you know, when we talk about, you know, leadership and all of that, and, you know, when I work with you, you know, with the life insurance and, you know, providing benefits, you know, to everyone, one of the things that we talked about when it came to leadership is is the first step is governing from that position of leadership, but then as we move forward, it is developing.
Level 2
you know,
is that
and have level
relationship.
2. Yeah, you gotta build those relationships. So it's been fun. It's been fun doing that. And
Speaking
seeing
of the
that.
relationships, is there any relationship that you see with personal life at home and the grades? Like, do you happen to see that typically if grades are slipping, usually it's more to do
Yes.
with something going on outside
That-
than it really is the inside?
Yes, it's not more or less because the kids that we come from, just like back in Youngstown. Like I say, McKees Rocks is just like Youngstown. You know, there's a lot of trauma there. There's a lot of things that children, unfortunately, at such a young age, have to see, have to endure, have to overcome, and have to I just got to get through it, you know, and helping them navigate that and allowing them to keep things first or keep things over here, understanding this, but just to navigate through their emotions. And a lot of that happens and things that they're going through at school, whether it's bullying or this or that, you know, or just little spats that they get into, even as friends get into it and bicker with one another.
For sure.
But sometimes that can, take over. Because when you're a kid, like, it's hard to say, don't let your emotions take up. No, it's hard.
Sounds good.
As 35 years old,
Yes.
I'm just now
Yes.
understanding how to not allow my emotions to dictate, my actions. So
Jordy mentioned, it was cool to see you have some fun, loosen up a little bit, drill sergeant up in DC. Why don't you tell some of the folks we know, but the people listening, a lot of the people listen, they're supporters of Steel City. What are some of the fun trips, field trips, things that we do, with the kids?
Yes. We've done so much. It's so much fun that we've had. It's great to be able to allow them to experience different things. Because one thing that I don't want to do is to do things that they could do just whenever they want to. So how can I expose them to things outside of their comfort zone, all of that? So when we do the open heart surgeries and we go and see that at Allegheny General Hospital, when we take them horseback riding and they get to learn about that, for me, I was excited that, I'm always watching on TikTok. That's like my guilty pleasure. Don't judge me. But
everybody got to have an outlet.
right. I'm like, yes, this is so funny. But clipping their hooves. I got to do that. And I'm always watching them clean the hooves and do all of that, whatever. So it was fun being able to finally do that. I was really excited. I was trying not to show them how geeked I was. I was nerding out, as people say in that moment. But, allowing them to see that. Going rock climbing, real live rock climbing, not traditional, the little green, blue, red, whatever on the wall, but actually really allowing them to, experience that. Going to I even think going to the Carnegie Mellon was fun, university, because they got to go through little examples of what it would take for a kid. If a kid has this, and this, would you, accept them into your university, or would you not? Or would you let them wait and maybe in a couple months you would revisit it again? So they actually got to go through those scenarios.
Beautiful.
Of that. And so it puts them in that real life scenario, or situation to have to be that person.
Yeah.
To accept or deny or put them on a waiting list. So stuff.
Good experience. Mm-hmm. Speaking of good experiences, I know it's probably minimal, but is there any times in the last year you remember any funny stories or anything about Miss Tyra? Any funny ones I need to know about?
Over the summer, where it was me and a group of kids, and we all had water balloons. Miss Tyra's idea. She told us to get water balloons. So we all came up and we threw a water balloon at her because, she was in a good mood. So
she's
we
fair
just
game. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got her?
I got her.
All right. You got her yourself? Nice. How'd she take it?
She was laughing.
All right.
I had to run away a little bit.
Of course. I'd have ran too. Do you, on a serious note, other than the fun stuff, what do you see, if you've looked at some of your classmates or peers, folks in the program, have you been able to see any changes in any of the kids yourself in the program to where they've gotten better?
Definitely. I've seen tons of changes. Some people who do stuff outside of school, other stuff, their in-school behavior is completely different. They care about their grades more. They don't talk about the teachers. They don't do none of that other stuff. They're really starting to care and all this other stuff because of I've seen multiple people change.
Turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful. Any tips you have? No better setting than to do it than just live. Is there any tips you have for us? Anything you think we could do to enhance the program or better the program?
Have someone on the side, how Mr. B. Blair was and Miss Shayla, because Miss Tyra do a ton of different stuff. So somebody who could really watch over the kids and really talk to them. More
coaches, more staff, right? More staff,
but
more
someone
people
with good authority who can tell somebody to stop without them thinking, oh, you're not Miss Tyra, none of that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Somebody that could check them, love them but check them. I got you. Well, if you need backup,
Well,
I'll take a day off and come down there.
I whoop them a lot,
Yes. How are they so good? We just beat them.
Just whoop them. Whoop them every day. I'm just playing. No, I mean, it's all about that relationship building, though. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
One of my favorite things that we started to do down there, because we want to impact the whole deal, the whole community. You know, as much as Stowe Rocks can get a bad rap because of the violence and all that, man, it's a lot of cool people down there. You know, and I'm comfortable down there, like you comfortable down there, because coming from Youngstown. Yeah. So when we've walked out and about, people in the community, I've seen people get excited about the community cleanup days that y'all are doing. And remember, you even had people from the community start joining in. Yes. So we do community cleanup days where they put on the orange so nobody runs us over. Right. And we had the baseball mascot come down. Yes. And we went out and the whole program went out in the community and started to clean stuff up, clean up the trash, make it, clean up the area. And we started to have folks from the community, nothing to do with the program, jump in and say, "Oh, we love this. We're gonna start doing some of that stuff too." Talk to us about how that went and why you think it's important for the kids to learn how to do stuff like that.
Absolutely, I think it's a big integral part in a child's life. To learn about and understand and appreciate. And sometimes even if you don't realize it at that moment, it's just a seed that's planted in you, because that's how it was for me. When I was in high school, we both went to the same high school, so Ursuline, a Catholic school, and a part of our religion class for senior year was service. You had to go out in the community and give back, and they had a list of things that you could choose from. So, I volunteered at a soup kitchen. I went to a nursing home, and we did activities with the residents there. And then I got an opportunity to read to K through second grade. And that was something that really left an impression in my life, and it kind of catapulted me as far as where I knew I belonged in. It was all about giving back. I'm a person I'm from acts of service. That's what makes me feel good, to know that I'm able to impact someone's life. So I said, for me, why is it that just a Catholic school is just doing that? Why is that just there? I don't hear about any other public schools in our area at that time doing that. And so I wanted to make sure whatever I was doing that I incorporated that, because it's very important for them to see and be able to experience. Like they didn't realize that at first. They're like, "Oh, we're just out here, it's hot, we picking up trash," whatever. And then as they start to see the community, look at that. People stopping, beeping their horn. "Thank you. We appreciate it." Coming out onto the porch. We had a guy come out and pray, with our children. We were actually on the neighborhood watch. They took pictures and put us up there and said, and express their gratitude. And for them to experience, like, this isn't just an activity that we're doing. Like, this actually is meaningful to the community that you live in. To keep it nice and keep it up, and when we do those community luncheons. But we also have that, we're in the month of April, we also have that coming up, another community cleanup day, so that'll be in the next few weeks, so I'm excited about that. And I'm sure it'll be with the same people, so it'll be with Tri-State, so hopefully we can get the Penguin or whatever to come back out and we do some stuff with them again. So
we could send some people down there too.
Yes.
From the office.
Mm-hmm.
Jordy, what would you say are some things that maybe you've started to grasp or learn in the program that you think would help you going into, your high school years, or as you grow into young adulthood? What do you think are a couple of things you could say you grabbed so far, learned so far from the program?
If you pay now, you can play later, or you could play now and pay later. Either way, you're going to pay. And that's just stuck with me for a little while, because it's the truth. That makes
me smile, because that's something that I beat into Miss Tyra's head and our people's. As I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, man, praise the Lord that somebody's actually getting it. You know what I'm saying? That it's actually traveling down to where I want it to be. Thank you for that. But that's the truth. That's the truth right now. What does that mean to you?
It means right now I'm paying a ton, highest honor rolls, yeah. I'm doing a ton of other stuff, ton of sports. I'm paying now, and I'll be able to play later with all these opportunities I'm going to get and all this other stuff. So,
amen. And then the folks that want to play too much now,
they gonna pay later.
They're going to pay later, right? That's beautiful. You know how have you ever heard the story, Jordy, how she ended up being the executive director down there? So she was no slouch. She was good at her job here in management. And every time I would sit with Miss Tyra and ask her, I would go over her goals. You know, we do a goal sheet with some of the managers of their personal life goals and their business goals. Every time I started to talk to her about her goals, it always ended up creeping in. She wanted to do something with kids. She wanted to work with kids because we have a youth program in Youngstown that we started, not the same name as Steel City, called Inspiring Minds in Youngstown. And Miss Tyra used to work with Inspiring Minds in Youngstown. And so she would always remind me, you know, that eventually her vision is to get back to doing something with kids or to have something for kids. And so when the opportunity opened up, as much as I didn't want to lose somebody that I got a connection with, that I believe in, that we spent a lot of time coaching to build up to leadership that has obvious great leadership skills, ain't too many people want to just volunteer to lose somebody like that. But I'm like, man, selfishly, I want to keep her here. But I know the right thing to do is to ask, would she want to get back involved with the kids, because this opened up. And I asked her, and she left all that to come down there and really rebuild. You know, we were there for already a year or so, but we really didn't pop off until Miss Tyra, you know, got there. And that's the power of one person. You know, I think the power, you know, what I try to teach people in business too is, you know, one Michael Jordan, one LeBron James, one person can start to really make major change. Sometimes it takes a lot of people, but really it takes one leader, one person to start to really spark that and make a change. And so that's been a blessing, you know, for me to watch and play out, because my mission was to be able to impact people down there, and I can't do it from here. We need somebody on site doing it right there. And to watch that play out, Miss Tyra is awesome to see. And we're just getting started, but we need leaders like you to keep taking over. And so, you know, Jordy, how you first got on my radar was we do the shoes thing every year. So that's every year we take the kids in Youngstown and in Pittsburgh, and we take them for Christmas, and me and others, we want to give them as a Christmas gift to all the kids. We like to get them shoes, and I like to be there on site, and I like to be there on site, not for myself to floss or anything like that. It re-motivates me as to, just like you being here, hearing you say, pay now, play later. Girl, that's all I need for motivation for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? Because it could get draining behind the scenes to do the work that it takes to make some of this stuff happen. But to see somebody like you getting it, that's the stuff that provides inspiration. So I go down there to see it on site and catch fire, and to be around the kids to motivate myself. And when I get down there, we got a camera with us, and the camera person is taking pictures and taking videos. And Angel, your daughter, just popped right up in front of the camera like this and just start off the cuff. Hey, here's what we doing. We getting these shoes. We going to these stores. And I'm like, what? How old is this young lady over here? I'm like, she got a natural, catchy personality, confident personality that I did not have at your age. So I'm like, man, imagine somebody that got that. I didn't have that in 7th grade. Somebody that got that. What could we do? What could we do to help somebody? Literally, sky's the limit for not only you, but a lot of the kids down there that I see that have so much talent would blow people's minds to see the talent that I've witnessed down there of so many of the kids, and the way that from the FOR, the folks down at the FOR, just the community itself, everybody, the mayor, my girl, the mayor down there.
Yes, Miss Adrian.
Miss Adrian, you know, I call her the mayor. She knows everybody, loves everybody. She just wants good, you know, for the community. Definitely. To connect where you got like-minded people like that doing stuff together like that, man, you could start to move mountains. And so, Tyra, talk to us a little bit about the impact that you've seen on the kids' grades, the bag, what we stand for, you know what I'm saying? Talk to them about getting in the bag, and how you think we've been able to improve that, and then flow into telling us what your vision is, what you think is next for the program.
Absolutely. So starting off the bag, during the school year, it's all about who exemplifies what Steel City is all about. And during the year, it's all about behavior, attendance, and grades. So that's our big focal point.
Right. So y'all that are slow out there, just behavior,
attendance,
A,
and G is grade.
There we go.
Yes. Sorry. But no. So behavior, attendance, and grades are what our main focal points are. Amongst other things, community, all that other stuff. Yes. And it's just being consistent. Consistent as far as our values, our culture, what I want from them. I'm never wavering on that. When kids come up to me, and sometimes I have to be. This is where my other part has, because I'm very militant, as we know, and I love my mom and my dad for that, but y'all missed something. Y'all didn't give me that other part where I could be like, oh look, that takes a lot out of me to do that, but I really try and be intentional with that. But they were like, yeah, Miss Tyra, but I got a B, and I'm like, okay, good, but now you can get that. Now let's get that A, and then if you're like, well,
raising the
Tyra,
expectation levels.
Well, did you got 100% in that class? How many assignments did you miss? What can we do? So it's constantly raising the bar for them. I never tell our kids like what our Steel City Impact minimum requirement is, because then they look at that. Oh, well, I got that.
Hit the minimum.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
But that's already ingrained in them within the system. Is that, well, I'm good because passing is a D. No, I want to make sure that I'm constantly pushing them for higher, because when you get out into the real world, like bare minimum, I don't want to be mediocre. Like that's actually a fear of mine, is to die and be mediocre and didn't live up to the best ability or the best version that God created me to be. So I'm constantly pushing them for better. Be better. Be better. Okay, you got that? How do we move forward? Don't be complacent. Because as we know, as you continue, as you're successful, complacency is the killer to success. So so I don't let them do that. Let's go, keep going, let's keep moving. And sometimes it's exhausting, but I have to be diligent in that. I have to be intentional. So I think that is what has created that culture. And that desire for, children like Jordy to continue to want to strive and to say those things like, hey, I'm going to pay now or play later, or I'm going to play now and pay later. Either way, I'm going to pay. So if you understand that concept, then I've done what I needed to do, in that. I still got to do more, but at least we got that part. So I think that's the biggest thing, is having that and instilling that in them. And now we have, over 75% of our kids, meeting Steel City Impact requirements. We had 33 kids last quarter. Second quarter have honor roll. We had 8 or 9 students have the highest honor roll, which is straight A's. Now this quarter, we dropped down just a little bit, but we have 24 kids, but that's still more than half because we've dropped down in our numbers, just to make sure to keep the culture where it needs to be. So we're still over half. We're at 76% now. Last quarter we were at 75%. So we're still increasing and meeting that. We have about
75% of what?
Of kids meeting the Steel City Impact requirements.
Okay.
So out of our total, 75% or 76% are where we need them to be. But either way, we're still going to keep them moving forward. And that's what Love happens. It. That's how we're getting this done.
Jordy, give me, if you could give advice, to somebody, you're 7th grade, moving towards 8th grade, going on, like you acting like you about to be in college, you know what I mean? Already all grown up acting, which we appreciate in your personality. Keep being you. The other people, other young folks, let's say there's somebody out there, a parent listening, they're going to say, hey, you got to turn this podcast on, listen to this young lady. Why don't you give some advice to younger kids your age or younger than you that are growing up and they're in an environment that's pulling them, in one direction, but they want to do the right thing, but maybe doing the right thing ain't looking cool, or whatever it is. What advice would you give to some of those kids on how to, get good grades, stay focused, be a leader, talk to them?
You should hang around people who want the same, who want the best for you and want the same, things for you and like the same things for themselves. Like, you can't keep hanging around the same people that's holding you back, or else you're gonna be just like them, holding yourself back. And you just need to go for your potential, because not everybody's down here. You start off all the way up here, you slightly bring yourself down, but you're meant to thrive and keep going, because like everybody has their own potential, but like them people's holding you back from it. So just quit hanging around with them. You could talk to them here and there, but I feel like you should just drop them, because like they're holding you back from what you can become.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Yes.
All the way into adulthood is birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? So if you want to be eagle, you gotta hang with the eagles. And it don't mean people successful with a certain type of title or money or anything. Just eagle in the way that they act, in the way that they think, in the way that their heart is. You know what I'm saying? Your mom is an eagle. Your Tyra is an eagle. You know what I'm saying? You could, because what happens is when you get around eagles, if you hold your potential up and you are who you're supposed to be, then eagles will recognize other eagles, and good people will be attracted to you naturally because they'll see it. You know, they say when an eagle is flying in the air at the highest altitudes, the eagles go so high, other birds really can't even hang with them. They can't even get up that high. So they say the eagles, the only way when they're up that high, they come in contact with another bird is that if it's another eagle. They notice the only other way that somebody would be up there with them. Another analogy I just saw about the eagles, they said the only bird that dares to like attack an eagle and mess with an eagle is a crow. And what an eagle does with the crow is instead of fighting with it, the eagle just goes up so high, just flies up so high to another level that the crow can't even catch his breath, and it just falls off and goes back down to where it was supposed to be. So stay above all the mess is the message in that. You know what I'm saying? As an eagle, people going to hate on you for being an eagle. They're going to the crow's going to come and pick at you for being an eagle. Just keep going to another level. Just keep, they'll just fall off naturally. Just keep going to another level, because you got that in you. And we're here to continue to carry you and lift you and elevate you, to watch you be all the things that you're called to be, which is super, super special. You and you're representative of all our kids right now in Steel City. You know, we could just bring them all in here. There's so many in here that I would like to highlight. And now after meeting your mom, I'm excited she's coming to the cigar event.
Yes.
I should have had another mic in here ready for Angel to come in here and get on, because I see where you get your mouthpiece and your mindset, you know, from is your mom. And so, you know, there's things that you mentioned, you know, another staff, there's things that we would like to do. And so this is a time where, as we close out, I just want to shout out and remind those that are listening, man, we really appreciate your help. And there's people all around the country that help us make this program happen here in Pittsburgh for kids like yourself to not only survive, but just thrive and take it up another notch and take it to another level. We have our annual Steel City Cigar Celebrity Cigar fundraiser coming up April 26th, 4 o'clock to 6:30. We have the James Harrison in the house, in my opinion, one of the greatest Pittsburgh Steelers of all time. James Harrison, I think when it's all said and done, I don't know how they don't put him in the Hall of Fame. And then we got the brand new starting tight end for the Steelers, Pat Freiermuth. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that the right way, the last name the right way, but Freiermuth, I think it is. We'll get it. Great dude. Also out of Penn State, Tyra. Y'all are gonna hit it off. But we need help. We need your support. And so for all of my friends listening, I'd appreciate if y'all can come out and support us for a good time. But for those of you that say that you can't make it, it's not an excuse. Let me tell you why. We got tickets for y'all. Okay, we got raffle tickets. We're going to be giving away a custom David Allen suit that he provided. And hey, ladies and men, they got custom dope suits. Like we've done in the fashion show. Some of our ladies have gotten in there. They got sweet shit, stuff for ladies, shit for ladies, stuff for ladies. Yep, that's me. That's what I do. I swear once in a while, y'all. And then we're going to be giving away a getaway to Nemacolin, 2-night stay at Nemacolin. And so we would appreciate your support to continue to help the program. And so for the cigar event, you could go ahead and search Steel City Impact on Eventbrite. and the link is in the description. On Instagram, you could check us out at Steel City Impact, and you could also check us out at steelcityimpact.com, and it takes a village. Okay, and we're going to start out in Pittsburgh, and we're going to try to impact as much of the world as we can before God takes us home. Mm-hmm. And even when that happens, we're going to pass it on to folks. Absolutely. Pass it on to folks like you. So that's the only thing that we ask is anybody that we're able to touch and impact, that when it's show turn, pay it forward and keep helping others. So we appreciate you, Miss Tyra, and everything that you do to impact other people. We appreciate you, Jordy, for inspiring so many of us and just doing the best that you can with the hand and the resources that you're dealt. All A's, not only with your grades, but all A's with your personality and behavior and impact that you have on other people. To whom much is given, much is required. That's another one you could add to your one-liners, right? So you've been given a lot in the gifts and talents that you got, right? So now a lot is required out of you because you're a leader. So you can lead and impact so many other people. Your personality is infectious. You can impact and infect a lot of people. We need you to impact and infect them in a positive way and be one of our leaders in the program. And let's keep impacting lives together because it takes all of us together. Okay. Hey, y'all, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us in the GRINDcast studios here. And we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day.